Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. We're very glad you're with us today. It is October 17th, 2025. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I started facilitating and leading this group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then in 2012, I launched careerusa.org to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon. If you see me, I have copies with me in person. And since 2007, I've been a member of the PIT crew, also known as the Practice Interview Team, and you'll hear more about them in just a few minutes. Our agenda, we like to start out with success stories. I don't see any donuts over here this morning, so we'll see anybody else about some good news to share. Job leads, we have recruiters online. We'll do everybody give their 30-second introductions. And then we'll hear from the practice interview team and the career tip of the week, and then our main event about the top of the hour. So we'd like to start off the success stories. Any good news to share from anybody? We had donuts 3 weeks in a row. I was getting used to that. Okay, anybody, anything? No landings. Okay, we'll move on then. Okay, what we'd like for everybody who's online right now to do is open up the chat window and type in your name, the position you're looking for. Give us your email, your LinkedIn address, your phone, what city you're watching from, 2 or 3 target companies we may be able to help you with, and then companies that you may have connections. Let us know, because maybe somebody will see one of those and want to connect with you. So I'll put 30 seconds on the clock to get started. And feel free to keep typing, because when you put this information in the chat window, that's how I know you're with us. And I will, you'll be able to get the information that we get from the meeting today. All right. We're now going to do our 30-second introduction. So for everybody here who's in a room, come on up, grab the microphone, tilt the monitor back a little bit so we can see you. And we'd like to have your 30-second introductions. And then once we get everybody in the room, we'll get everybody online. Come on down. Don't be shy. Grab the mic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Test. Yeah.
There we go.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Tim Farrell. I'm an electrical design verification engineer. I'm looking for similar work. I target companies this week. I applied to KLA Corporation, Leonardo DRS, and Boeing. I have contacts at Raytheon. And once again, my name is Tim Farrell.
Hello, my name is Daniel Reisinger. I'm looking for jobs in either welding fabrication, or teaching shop or welding and fabrication in a school environment.
Thank you.
Good morning, I'm David Coward, and I am a senior client director, also looking for strategic account management roles. The target companies I have this week are Invent and Korn Ferry, and I have contacts at IBM and PricewaterhouseCoopers and Manpower Group. Again, my name is David Coward.
Thank you.
My name is Chris Holmes, and I'm looking for senior manager or director positions in IT portfolio management. This week, I'm targeting American Airlines and McKesson, and I have contacts at Southwest Airlines, EY, and PwC, and some other firms like that. My name is Chris Holmes.
Great, thank you.
Good morning. My name is David Glasscock. I am looking for a business development or a senior sales account executive role in the construction industry or related fields. I'm looking for contacts at Builder Trend or Rimkus Engineering, and I have contacts at various general contractors in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. My name is David Glasscock.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kathleen McGregor, and I'm looking for a paralegal position in a corporate setting or a small to medium-sized law firm. And right now, my target companies are Chobani and the law firm Smith Kleinsmith. They're an elder abuse law firm. I have contacts in the banking and finance industry. And again, my name is Kathleen McGregor. Thank
Great,
you.
thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Belzil. So I help companies convert data into dollars, and I'm looking for a director of digital products role. So I need contacts at Keurig Dr. Pepper, Synchrony Financial, or Hershey. I have contacts at Walmart, Circana, and Epsilon. My name is Mike Belzil.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Paul Husar. That's Husar. I'm a Director VP of Customer Service and/or Technical Support. Rise Broadband and Telest are looking for me. If you know someone, please help them find me. I can help with contacts at LG. I'm Paul Husar.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Archer, Senior Retail Operation Merchandiser. I worked for Walmart for 16 and a half years, serving 4 different roles. I have contacts at Walmart and Solid Beauty Supplies, Anthony Archery.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Gabriela Villafaña. I'm looking for a finance and pricing analyst job. I don't have any contacts that I need right now, a company, but I do have contacts at Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. My name is Gabriela Villafaña.
Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Brett Cooper, adolescent medicine physician and healthcare leader. I don't have any target companies this week, but can help you at UT Southwestern, Children's, and Integrity.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Cynthia Carter, and I'm looking for leadership and organization development. I am a real estate professional and leadership coach. I help individual and organization achieve growth, whether through property and investment or navigating changes and building strong leadership skill. I am Cynthia Carter.
Great, thank you.
Hello, my name is Brian Archer. I am looking for remote work. I'd like to become an international digital nomad. And I don't know my target companies. I have some connections in aviation and unmanned system industries. Again, my name is Brian Archer.
Great, thank you very much. Anybody else? No, all right, all right. For everybody who's online, turn this off. For everybody who's online now, if you will, go raise your hand. So I only call on you one time to make things a little bit easier here. So let's start with Steve Rohan.
Hi, my name is Steve Rowan. I'm a retired .NET developer. I've got contacts at Fiserv and the VA. My name is Steve Rowan.
Thank you. Brian McGovern.
Hello, my name is Brian McGovern. I am looking for a position as either an HR coordinator or benefits coordinator. My target companies are American Airlines, Nordstrom, Rosenden, and Simpson Strong Tie. And I have contacts at Mr. Cooper, Korn Ferry, and Hilton. And once more, my name is Brian McGovern. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Sulkin.
Morning, I'm Steven Sulkin. I'm a Director or VP of Operational Excellence. and I help multi-site health systems work together better. And I've got contacts at Baylor Scott & White, and I'm looking for contacts at Methodist Health. I'm Stephen Sulkin.
Thank you. James Pence.
Good morning. My name is James Pence. I'm looking for a client-facing role, whether it be client relationship or client success manager. My target companies are something along the lines of Fiserv, Tyler Technologies, or Gartner. Happy to help any way I can. Again, my name is James Pence. Thank you.
Thank you. Darren Rich.
Hey, good morning. My name is Darren Rich. I'm a financial analyst and budget manager, and I'm looking for contacts at TCU, preferably in the office of the provost if possible. And I have contacts at SMU. Thanks. I'm Darren Rich.
Thank you. Michael.
Good morning. My name is Michael Wilk. I'm looking for a position as a senior or lead quality engineer or quality manager in aerospace and defense. My target companies are Lockheed Martin, SNC, Collins Aerospace, and Raytheon. I have contacts at Raytheon and L3 Harris. My name is Michael Wilk.
Thank you. Miguel.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff. My name is Miguel Castillo. I'm looking for a VP or director in finance. FP&A space is my domain. Most recently, divisional CFO at Amazon, before that at American Airlines. So Brian McGovern, we should connect and meet contacts this week at Toyota and Stryker. My name is Miguel Castillo.
Thank you. William.
Good morning, everyone. My name's William McLaughlin, and currently seeking a business analyst role and looking for contacts at GameStop and Dave & Buster's. Again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you, and have a great Friday.
Thank you. Nikki.
Good morning. I'm Nikki Duncan. I am looking for Chief of Staff or Director of Operations type roles. I don't have a target company this week. I did make a new contact last week for a company that works in civil engineering. I have to go in the house to get the business card, so I don't remember the company. But I did tell her that I was connected to this group, and if she said if there's any civil engineers in here to let her know. So if you're a civil engineer, let me know. I'll connect you. I am Nikki Duncan.
Thank you. Mark Jamansky.
Yes, my name is Mark Jermansky. I'm a senior technical writer, information architect. I'm looking for senior technical writer positions, remote. I have no target companies. I have contacts in Motorola Solutions. Again, my name is Mark Jermansky.
Thank you. Ogana.
Okay. Yes. Hi, good morning. My name is Ogonna Agu, and I am seeking a universal strategist. I'm seeking a universal strategist role, and I need contacts at US Venture or University of Dallas, and I have contacts at Empathic LLC, and my name is Ogonna Agu.
Thank you. Brandon White.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is Brandon White. I'm looking for a field application engineer position in the water or energy sectors. And I turn water challenges into cost savings. And my target company this week is Nalco Water. And I can help with contacts in Frisco, Plano ISD, or Northwest Arkansas. My name is Brandon White.
Thank you. Rosina.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I am your Career Tip of the Week host, so I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm looking for a position as a Senior Talent Acquisition Partner, Senior Recruiter, or Senior Corporate Recruiter position. I need contacts at TIAA Frisco or T-Mobile. Again, and then I have contacts at a variety of different companies, so as we're connected, feel free to take a look at my contacts. And again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Partner, Senior Recruiter, or Senior Corporate Recruiter. Thanks so much.
All right. Anybody else online that I missed? Going once, going twice. All right, we'll move on here. We don't have any recruiters online, so we'll skip the job lead section. Walt is not with us today. He's traveling. So just quickly, Walt runs the Interview Success Workshop. It's a great, how many people here have taken Walt? Oh, about half the room. I'll let you talk about it. And he does a great job working with you. He does it only 2 people in his workshop, does it on Tuesday mornings from 9 to 11. Let's see here. And he will talk about, who we are, how we can help, and what you do. If you want to get on Walt's email list, you want to use walt_glass@yahoo.com. All the information is on his LinkedIn page. So you can schedule, or you can schedule the pop in this QR code, and it'll fill in most of the details in an email that you can send him. Let's see what else here. So we have no poem today because Walt's not here, and he likes to talk about it's learning about without squirming to finish his program. So let's talk about the practice interview team. Coming from the very back of the room.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm Paul Husar, and I'm very excited, as always, to talk to you about the practice interview team. That's a group where you can actually participate in a practice interview. We have panelists who are volunteers who will research the job posting and your resume and to prepare to conduct a 3-person panel interview. And then give you direct feedback on your performance and help you find ways to improve your interview performance. The pit crew, as it's known, meets here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th Wednesdays of the month. On the 4th Wednesday, it is conducted remotely, so people from any area of the country can and often do participate. We always need panelists if you have been a hiring manager and if you've had to fire someone. You qualify to be a panelist, and believe me, it's a very rewarding role. I learn something new every Wednesday, whether I'm on the panelist side or a participant or in the audience. Our motto is practice early and practice often. You can find our group on LinkedIn. Be sure to join, and you can submit your resume and job description if you want to get in line to be scheduled for the practice interview team. Yes. Yes, this Wednesday is the 4th Wednesday of the month, and it will be online. So we will not be here this next week. Thank you. I'm Paul Husar.
And Steve Salcom would like to know, is anybody seen Paul not excited? Okay, that's his question. That's his question. So if you've seen him unexcited, please let us know. All right, it's time for the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Good morning, Jeff, and good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. All right. Well, this week's tip of the week, we're continuing on from last week. So the topic is the top 25 best job search tips for jobs that are in the United States. This is part 2. So the most effective jobs, let me back up and say this article is produced by generative AI, Google Gemini, and it's based on a prompt. And so the most effective job search tips for the US market emphasize tailoring your application materials, and treating the search process as a full-time commitment. So last week in part 1, top 25 job search tips in the United States were divided into categories such as strategic planning and organization, networking and connections, application materials and online presence, research and engagement, and interview and follow-up. So that was based on the prompt, what are the top 25 best job search tips for jobs in the United States? Well, this week, just the prompt is the additional, do you have any other, do you happen to have another 25 tips? And Gemini said, absolutely. So since you already have the core strategies from part 1, the next 25 tips will focus on advanced application and material tactics, mindset and motivation, leveraging modern technology and tools, and skill development and professionalism. So under the category of advanced application and material tactics, first, you want to create a master resume. Keep one comprehensive document listing every job, skill, and achievement. This makes it easier to pull and tailor content for specific applications quickly. Second, you want to use AI to polish, not write your resume. Use tools to check the resume and cover letter for clarity, grammar, and tone, but write the content yourself to maintain authenticity. Third, you want to use a video introduction whenever appropriate. And so for creative or tech jobs, you want to consider using or adding a link to your short professional video introduction to stand out from text-only applications. Fourth, you want to know your PAR or STAR stories. So prepare specific examples of your experience using the PAR, problem, action, or result, or the STAR, situation, task, action, or result method for answering behavioral interview questions. Fifth, you want to focus on transferable skills. If changing careers, highlight soft skills like communication, project management, and critical thinking as they are applicable everywhere. And sixth, you want to review your application after submitting it. Before moving on, double check that the confirmation, email, and next steps are clearly recorded in your tracking system. So next category is mindset and motivation. So that covers number 7, manage your job search stress. Acknowledge that job hunting is stressful. Schedule time for non-job related activities like exercise and hobbies to prevent burnout. 8, you want to stay positive and persistent. Rejection is a normal part of the process. View each no as simply being one step closer to the right yes. 9, you want to celebrate small wins. Give yourself credit for milestones, sending out 5 tailored applications, conducting a networking call, or finishing an online course. 10, you want to collect feedback. If you are continually reaching the same stage, such as getting phone screens but no interviews, then politely ask recruiters for feedback to identify weak spots. Number 11, practice self-assessment regularly. Periodically, you want to review your skills, interests, and values to ensure your target jobs still align with your goals. And then number 12, stay off toxic job search forums. While helpful, be mindful of online forums that focus heavily on negativity, as they can demotivate you. And so seek out encouraging groups instead. Next category is modern technology and tools. So that's starting with number 13. Set up customized job alerts. You want to use filters on platforms like LinkedIn and Indeed to get highly specific alerts sent directly to your inbox, allowing you to act faster. Number 14, leverage AI interview prep. So you want to use AI tools and platforms to practice answering questions, but also get feedback on your body language, if virtual, and refine your responses. Number 15, utilize application tracking tools. Use a spreadsheet or a dedicated app to track every job you apply to, including the date, company contact, and next follow-up step. Number 16, you want to be mobile friendly. Ensure that you can access and respond to emails, view job descriptions, and even apply from your mobile device, as recruiters often use mobile to communicate. Number 17, you want to understand recruitment agencies. Research recruiters who specialize in your field. They can have access to exclusive opportunities, but ensure that you understand their fee structure upfront. Number 18, use federal and state resources. So you want to explore sites like Career One Stop and the U.S. Department of Labor for resources which offer free guidance, training, and job listings. And then the last category is skill development and professionalism. Starting with number 19, you want to upskill and certify. Dedicate time to acquiring new in-demand skills through the online courses like Coursera or LinkedIn Learning, or obtain industry recognized certifications. Number 20, you want to showcase a growth mindset. In interviews, emphasize your eagerness to learn, adapt, and continually hone your skills, as this is a top trait recruiters look for. Number 21, refine your elevator pitch. Have a concise, compelling 30-second summary of who you are, what you do, and what you're looking for. Perfect for unexpected networking encounters. Number 22, practice active listening in interviews. It's just as important to listen to identify, intently to answer interview questions as it is to provide a good answer. So don't just wait for your turn to talk. Number 23, consider internships or volunteer work. If you have employment gaps or are changing fields, short-term volunteer or freelance work can provide current relevant experience to put on your resume. Number 24, plan your first 90 days. For roles that you're deeply interested in, be prepared to outline a 3-month plan during the final interview stage to show your strategic thinking and commitment. And then number 25, be honest and ethical. Never misrepresent your skills, experience, or education. Companies do conduct background checks, and integrity is key to long-term career success. I hope you'll reflect and find value in these reminders from the top 25 best job search tips for jobs in the United States. And I hope you can gain some tidbits of insight to add to your search. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, everybody.
Rosina, thank you very, very much. All right, today for lunch, we're going to go to Country Burger, 1145, 3115 West Parker Road on the northwest corner of Parker and Independence. They've got burgers, salad, and more. If you want this particular burger, you have to bring your own ham because they don't provide ham. But you can get all the rest of these items. It's like 35, 36 bucks, something like that if you want this one. So come join us today. We'll take a head count at the end so we know how big a table to get. All right, if you want to receive today's materials, you'll be able to get a copy of the speaker's presentation. You'll get a link to the YouTube video that when we post this video this afternoon, you'll get a copy of the career tip of the week that Rosanna just read, and you'll get a copy of the Zoom chat. To make sure you get these items, if you're here in person, make sure you've checked yourself off on the roster. For anybody who's brand new, make sure you fill out a little slip of paper and it's legible so I can read them. And for everybody online, please include your email address in the chat so I can make sure we get you counted for on the update for the contact list today. Here are the following people who on LinkedIn, on the chat, would put in their LinkedIn address, but there is no email. I was talking to somebody last night and talking about one of my biggest pet peeves with job seekers is you're looking for a job, but if you go to your LinkedIn address, to your LinkedIn profile, I can't see your contact information. Recruiter, first thing you want to do is they want to pick up the phone and call you. The second thing they'll do if they can't, there's no phone number, they'll send you an email. The last thing they want to do is send you a LinkedIn in-mail because only about 9% of people actually read those things. So please make sure in your about section, your summary statement, that you put your phone number, put a call to action. please feel free to call me, reach out. How can I help your company? And put your phone number and email address so it's easy because anybody can see that. The only people who can see your contact information are those that are in a first degree connection. So if I'm a second or third degree connection, I can't see your contact information. All right, it's time for our main event. If you have questions throughout the presentation, just please raise your hand or enter a question in the Zoom chat window. Our speaker today is Jay Fusaro. He's the principal and founder of Eureka Professional Services, where as an interview coach, he provides his clients with skills and techniques necessary to successfully conduct an efficient and effective job search. Jay graduated from Northeastern University in Boston. He's a retired CPA in the state of Texas, as well as a certified SMU business coach. He was the vice president of financial planning for Alliance Business Data during their successful IPO. Jay is a two-time award-winning author. His book, right here, and I love holding it up because it makes me look like I have a big head. Jay is a two-time winning author from the book, From the Other Side of the Desk, A Practical Guide to Shortening Your Job Search. Received a silver medal from the Independent Publishers Association in recognition of the best nonfiction informational ebook. And the book was selected as a Book of Excellence Award winner in the career category. After 24 years of living in Dallas, he couldn't do anymore, and his wife moved to Eureka Springs, Arkansas. So please welcome Jay. Thank you for being with us today.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jeff, and thank you and the Career Focus Group team for all you do for those in transition. You guys do a great job. That's quite evident. So I'm going to hit screen share here. Will that, this will stop screen sharing. Okay, I don't want to do that.
Well, it'll stop the one that's currently, I stopped it. So if you do it now, you'll be able to show.
All right. Very good. Okay, can you see that screen?
Not yet.
No?
No. Something's coming up now. Here we go. Now we got it.
Okay, I'm just trying to, there we go.
Yep,
Can you pull? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So what we're gonna talk about networking this morning, but I wanted to go over what I teach my clients. I teach my clients how to effectively and efficiently conduct a job search. I teach my clients 6 skills, and these 6 skills are what's in the book. It is how to write a proper cover letter, how to write a resume, how to effectively network that we're going to talk about this morning, how to effectively interview, how to negotiate the offer, and how to make the most of your first 90 days onboarding. That's what I teach my clients, and that's what's in the book. The average interview success rate is about 25% for most people, meaning most people will go on 4 interviews with companies and get 1 offer. That's average. If you're below that, you should absolutely seek help on your interview skills, as I'm sure the career focus team can provide. My clients are at about a 62% interview success rate, and it's because they're better prepared. And we're going to talk about that type of preparation. The type of preparation that we're talking about for networking is also transferable to interviewing. The average time somebody's in transition on average is about 9 months. My clients are with me about 3.5 months. And it's not because there's any magic bullet or secret going on. As I said, it's for 2 reasons. They're better prepared, and I get clients in different stages of their search. I get clients who've been with the same company for 15 years and haven't been in transition. They're going to take a little bit longer to land. Then I get clients who are well on their way in their job search. They're getting interviews, but they're not getting offers. And they're going to take a shorter period of time to land because we just need to clean up their interview technique. So on average, my clients are with me about 3.5 months. I charge a flat fee and I stay with my clients until they land. Now, the other thing that I'll say is if you read the book, I'll be glad to help you. If you read the book, call me. I'll be glad to help you. And it's not a shameless plug for the book and the $5 that I make on every book sale. It's because it's a time saver. It saves me and you the time of me having to transfer the information that's in the book to you. If you read the book and you still have issues with your job search, we can focus on that particular issue and make it go more efficiently. So I put this slide in a networking presentation. I'm going to ask a few rhetorical questions during the presentation. And I got this slide from a show called Brain Games. And so what does it look like this slide says? Of course, it doesn't say jumping to conclusions, right? If it did, why would it be in the presentation? That wouldn't make any sense. So why is that in a networking presentation? The reason I have that in a networking presentation is because I want you to resist the temptation to assume. You assumed what that slide said, even though you had incomplete information. Your brain wanted to fill that spot of incomplete information. So you said, well, of course it says jumping to conclusions. Don't assume when you're networking who can and cannot help you, because more often than not, you will be wrong. I was wrong when I was networking. I would make assumptions about this person can absolutely help me find my next opportunity. And, maybe they weren't that much help. Or I was sitting next to somebody at a networking meeting thinking there's no way this person's going to be helpful to me in my job search. They ended up being incredibly helpful to me. So please resist the temptation to assume who can and cannot help you in your job search. You have no idea who they know. You don't know who plays golf with somebody, who goes to church with someone, who's worked with someone. You have no idea who that person knows and how they may be able to help you. So please resist the temptation to assume who can and cannot help you. So what is networking? Networking is 4 simple things. You're there to gather information, gain advice and feedback, make connections to others, and generate insights and ideas regarding your search. Those are the 4 things of what networking is. Let me tell you what networking is not. Networking is not asking somebody, do you know of anyone that can use somebody with my skills? It's not saying to someone, do you know of any open positions? Do not say that on a networking meeting, because you want to work with someone and ask someone what they can give you. And we're going to talk about what they can give you in a second. What most people cannot give you is tell you where there's a job opening. You don't need to tell the person, do you know of any open positions? They know you're looking for a job. If they do, they will tell you. So focus on what networking is: gathering information, gaining advice and feedback, making connections to others, and generating insights and ideas. That's what networking is. Focus on what you can control. So we're laying a foundation for what networking is before we talk about the specific targets and tactics and process of networking. So focus on what you can control. You can't control, is someone going to call me back? Am I going to get this networking meeting? Am I going to get this interview? Am I going to get this offer? Don't focus on what you cannot control. When I'm doing a presentation, I don't focus on how many people are going to show up for the presentation. I can't control that. What I can control and what you can control are 5 things. You can control your attitude, your dress, your body language, your preparation, and your introduction. That's what you can control. So your attitude. You need to be, and you provide so much good information that I've already heard so far in the meeting about being positive. You need to have a positive attitude during your job search. Obviously, when you're meeting with people, whether it's networking or interviewing, when you're meeting with someone and you're networking, they say, so how's your search going? Be positive. It's going really well. I have some really good leads. I'm interviewing in the first round with this company or that company. I'm getting some very good, lead generation. Be positive. People want to be around other people that are positive. Don't, be negative. Say, yeah, the search is tough. I'm not getting as many interviews as I want. Don't do that. Be positive. Have a positive attitude about your job search, a positive attitude about your prior employer. You need to be positive. It will eliminate you right away from that networking meeting and certainly from an interview. Dress. You need to dress for a networking meeting as if you're on an interview because you just might be and you don't know it. And I'll give you an example of that in a minute. I've networked with people when I was in the corporate world. I would network with people and I would be shocked at the way they were dressed for a networking meeting. A polo shirt, a baseball cap, completely inappropriate. And these are people that were making six figures. Completely inappropriate. If they thought that I was going to introduce them to my contacts, they were crazy, because I would be mortified that they would dress that way to one of my contacts. And you just might be on an interview and you don't know it. So you need to dress for a networking meeting as if you're on an interview. It's critical, and it shows respect. A lot of what we're talking about this morning about preparation, etiquette, dress, it's about respect. It's about showing respect to the other person that you're meeting with and that they are willing to introduce you to their business contacts. Your body language. Be positive with your body language. Shoulders back, chest out, good eye contact, good handshake, smile, right? Be mindful of your body language. Don't slouch or be rounded shouldered. In your preparation, you can control your preparation. So many people, most people, are not going to prepare for a networking meeting or an interview the way we're going to talk about this morning. They're just not. You need to outwork your competition. You need to separate yourself from the competition in your preparation. And we're going to talk about what that preparation is in a second. But you can control your preparation. You need to outwork the opponent. You need to be properly prepared for a networking meeting as if you're on an interview. It's critical. And your introduction. Even if Jeff didn't ask me for an introduction, I would have sent it to him. Why? Because I want to make it easy when somebody is having me speak to their group, and you want to make it easy for somebody to help you. The way that you can make it easy for someone to help you is by having an introduction prepared, 4 or 5 sentences about how you want to be introduced. So if somebody's going to introduce you to somebody else, and we'll talk about this in etiquette in a second, but if somebody's going to introduce you, the way you can make it easy is have an introduction that you can email to them so they don't have to think about how they're going to introduce you. A woman I was networking with met with me. She offered to introduce me to 3 people. She made the introductory email. This was before I had a prepared introduction. She misrepresented my background, not maliciously, but she just made a mistake. So during those networking meetings, I had to correct my background in those meetings. It's embarrassing, it's inefficient, it's inappropriate. So don't rely on someone else to come up with how to introduce you. Have your introduction prepared so they can just copy and paste that when they're going to make the introductory email. Be confident. You need to be confident in a networking meeting and in an interview. How are you confident? You're confident in these meetings by being properly prepared. People would say to me, don't you get nervous speaking in public? Well, not if I know what I'm going to say. If I know what I'm going to say, I'm not nervous. And it's the same thing with a networking meeting and an interview. Most people are nervous during these meetings because they have no idea what they're going to say. Maybe they prepare for 10 or 20% and they ad-lib the other 80. That's awful. And if you do that, you should be nervous because you're unprepared. So the way you can be confident is by proper preparation. I'll tell you the proper vehicle for that in a second. 80% of what you say during a networking meeting or an interview needs to be scripted out and prepared. 80%. Then you can ad-lib the other 20 because you can't prepare for everything. But the way that you're confident and the way that you're going to meet somebody that probably that you've never met before is by being properly prepared. And that's going to give you the confidence on a networking meeting, and that's going to come through in the presentation of yourself. Who's in charge of your job search? You're in charge of your job search. It's not a coach. It's not a recruiter. It's not someone in the career focus meeting. It's not a mentor. You're in charge of your search. I tell prospects before they become clients that they are in charge of their search. I am not going to care more about their job search than they are. So you're in charge. You're going to decide, how am I going to dress for this meeting? Am I going to prepare the way we're going to talk about this morning for every networking meeting, every interview? Am I going to prepare that way? Am I going to control my body language properly? Am I going to be positive? You're in charge. It's not a recruiter. If you're working with a recruiter, don't think you're pushing your job search to that recruiter. That's not what's happening. You're in charge. So that's an important mental aspect to keep in mind of who's in charge of your search. So networking etiquette. Let's talk about the 6 keys to networking etiquette. And again, this is about showing respect and getting that person to want to introduce you to their professional contacts. The first thing is saying thank you at the beginning and end of every networking meeting. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me. I really appreciate it. Now that sounds painfully obvious, and it is, but I didn't do it when I was in search at one point in my career. And the reason I believe that we forget common pleasantries and manners is because we're under a lot of stress when we're in job search. We get very myopic and self-centered. So I was meeting with a recruiter, a very good recruiter in the Metroplex, and he ended up becoming a mentor of mine, great help. And he was meeting with me. I hadn't looked for a job for 17 years. And, I had no idea what I was doing. And he spent a lot of time with me. And at the end of our second or third meeting, we were leaving his office. And he said to me, as we're scheduling the next meeting, he said, you've never said thank you once. Think about that. That's awful. And I was, I was humiliated. And that stuck with me, that we can become very self-centered and myopic. Don't be that person that just hooks up the vacuum and takes. People are taking time out of their day to help you. The least you can say to them at the beginning and end of every networking meeting is, thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me. I really appreciate it. So that's number 1. Number 2, ask for 20 minutes. When you're scheduling a networking meeting, the other person's wondering, how long is this meeting going to go on for? Is there going to be an end? Am I going to have to end the meeting? Ask for 20 minutes so the person knows you're going to be tight and concise with your meeting, and they know that there's going to be an end point to the meeting. 20 minutes is usually what people, most people can give you. And the key is to ask for advice and feedback. So when you're contacting someone, whether it's email or a phone call, say, Jeff, do you have 20 minutes? I would really appreciate your advice and feedback regarding my search. Most people are going to have 20 minutes and can give you advice and feedback regarding your search. Remember, you want to ask people for something that they can give you. They can give you advice and feedback. Do not ask, do you know of any openings? Do not ask, do you know of anybody that can use somebody with my skills? So ask for 20 minutes, and it's critical that you ask for advice and feedback. Third, summarize at the end of the meeting what just transpired in the meeting. So if they offered to introduce you to 3 people, summarize that at the end. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to these 3 introductions that you're going to make on my behalf. That networking meeting might be the most important thing you did that day. It's not going to be the most important thing the other person did that day. When you leave their office or you hang up that phone, their boss might come in, dump a bunch of work on their desk, and they're going to be, totally forget what they offered to do for you. So summarize at the end of the meeting what they offered to do for you. If they offered to make 3 introductions, whatever. Summarize again in the thank you note that you're going to send that person. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me. I really appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to the introduction to these 3 people. And that's where you attach your introduction. Please use this introduction on my behalf when you make the introductory emails. So summarize at the end of the meeting and summarize in your thank you note. Fourth, do a time check. At the end of 20 minutes, you asked for 20 minutes, do a time check. I asked for 20 minutes. We're at the end of that time. Do you still have a few minutes, or do we need to wrap this meeting up? And they'll tell you, hey, I'm good on time. We can keep going. Or they'll say, you know what? I do have a meeting at the bottom of the hour. Let's wrap this thing up. That's fine. You're being respectful. So do a time check at the end of 20 minutes and see if they need to wrap the meeting up or if they have more time to spend with you. Fifth, you're going to send 2 thank you notes out. You're going to send a thank you note out to the person that you met with, and you're going to summarize in that thank you note what they offered to do for you. And you're going to send a second thank you note to the person that introduced you to that person. How come? 2 reasons. One, you want to close the loop with the person that made that introduction. When I introduce 2 people, I want to know, did those people meet? What was the outcome of the meeting? Did they have a good meeting? Was it productive? You just want to know. The second reason is you're always looking for a legitimate reason to reach out to somebody and remind them that you're still in transition. And so send in a thank you note to the person that introduced you to the person that you just met with is a great way to remind them that you're still in transition, because maybe a week or 2 has gone by and now you've met with their contact. You're going to send them a note. Hey, Jay, I want you to know I met with Jeff. We had a really good meeting. He offered to introduce me to 3 people. I really appreciate the connection. Thank you very much. So you're reminding that person that you're still in transition. Really important. And at the end of the meeting, number 6, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in a minute. At the end of the meeting, in addition to saying, thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me, I really appreciate it, you say to that person, how can I help you? It's really important that at the end of the meeting, you say to that person, how can I help you? And I'll go into more detail and give you an example of that in a little bit. So those are the 6 networking etiquette keys that are really important to having a good meeting. Now remember, networking is one tool in your toolbox. You should be looking at all of your job boards, your target company job boards. You should have a target company list of about 12 companies or so. You should be looking at the big job boards, your target company job boards. You should be working with 1 good recruiter, maybe 2. You need to be networking, and you need to be cold calling. And I'll talk about cold calling in a second. Cold calling needs to be part of your job search, tools. A job search is not sitting behind a computer, shooting off emails, resumes and applications. A job search is not just networking with, 9 people a day. That's not proper networking. You need to be doing all 5 of those things to be able to conduct a proper job search. So networking is one tool in your toolbox. So the goals and preparation of networking. The goals of networking are 2 to 3 meetings a day. And if you get 3 referrals a day, that's a good day. I know people, you may know people, and they'll say 3 meetings, two meetings a day. I can do 6 or 8 networking meetings a day. No, you can't. You cannot do them properly. Networking is not blowing through people, shaking hands, kissing babies. That's not networking. And there's no way that you can properly prepare for a networking meeting and have more than 2, maybe 3 a day. So that would be my goal. 2 networking meetings a day while you're doing all the other stuff we talked about in job search. And if you get 3 referrals a day, that's good. That keeps your pipeline full. So those should be your goals. So your preparation. 2 things need to be present for a meeting to go forward, whether it's a networking meeting or an interview. You need to establish chemistry with the other person, and you need to be able to demonstrate your technical competence. Those 2 things need to be present. If they're not, the meeting is not going anywhere. Networking meeting, interview, it's not going anywhere. You've got to be able to establish establish chemistry and demonstrate your technical competence. So how do you establish chemistry with somebody you don't know? It's not by you doing most of the talking. That's not how you do that. The way you establish chemistry with somebody that you don't know is by doing research on that person and getting them to talk, asking them questions. So before you go into a networking meeting, look the person up, look them up on LinkedIn, look them up on the company website, see how long they've been with the company. If they've been with the company a long time, say, Jay, I see you've been with the company 10 years. Clearly you enjoy it. What is it about the company that you like so much? Or if they've been with the company for 9 months, say, I see they've been with the company 9 months. How do you like it so far? Or if they've been recently promoted, ask them about that. So look them up, find something about them or the company that you can talk about to establish chemistry with that person. And it shows respect. It shows respect that you looked them up. Look up their company. You've got to do proper research on the company. And I'm going to say this over again, you need to prepare for a networking meeting as if it's an interview, because it just might be and you don't know it. So you need to look up the company and know about the company. What that would include is, if they're a public company, listening to their last quarter's earnings release. You're going to find a wealth of information on a company's quarterly earning release. It takes about 45 minutes. You're going to listen for financial information, find out where they've opened up new offices, new products that they've come up with, whatever the case might be. You're also going to learn their jargon, their company jargon, which is really important. When I was interviewing with MoneyGram, I listened to their quarterly earnings call, and I learned a lot about the money transfer business. And one of the things that I learned was that they look at profitability the way airlines do in corridors, Rome to Paris, New York to Prague, whatever the case might be. So when I was on the interview, I was able to use some of their jargon, not to act like I'm an expert, but to show that I've done research on the company. So that's how you're going to build chemistry, is by doing research on the company and the person. And to be able to demonstrate your technical competence, I'm going to talk to you about how I believe you should do that through the playbook, but you're going to demonstrate your technical competence during the networking meeting through short stories, and we'll talk about that in a second. So preparation, I keep saying, need to prepare for a networking meeting as if it's an interview because it just might be and you don't know it. Well, here's a practical example. I was in job search. I was low on leads and I started cold calling CFOs. And yes, you're going to have a low hit rate when you cold call, and that's fine. It might be 5%, maybe 10% on the high side. Well, I cold called the CFO of Comerica Bank, Texas. And I said to him, do you have 20 minutes? I would really appreciate your advice and feedback regarding my search. He said, sure. And we met. Well, as with every networking meeting, I prepared for that networking meeting as if it were an interview. And we met, we established chemistry because I looked him up. I knew about the bank. I knew about their profitability and acquisitions and whatnot. I was able to demonstrate my technical competence and through my short stories. And he said to me about 20 minutes into the networking meeting, and I was properly dressed, obviously. And he said, you know, my head of FP&A resigned last week and I haven't had a chance to post for the job. You seem like you'd be a good fit. Do you have time to interview with a few more people? So of course I did. I ended up getting the job, working for him for 5 years at Comerica. He left, became the first CFO of Alliance Data Systems, took me with him. I worked there for 12 years and helped take the company public. So one networking meeting as a result of a cold call that I went on resulted in a 17-year career with 2 companies and helping take a company public. One networking meeting from a cold call. Now you're thinking, that's pretty lucky. Well, it wasn't lucky because that was the 85th networking meeting of that job search, 85. And I prepared for the prior 84 the way I prepared for that 85th meeting. Because if I chose to take that day off and say, you know what, I'm just exhausted, I'm not going to prepare for this meeting, and he saw that I wasn't prepared, we would have been ships passing in the night, and he would have shook my hand and said, you know, I hope things work out for you. And, you know, that giant chunk of my career never would have happened. So the hard part is not the meeting. The hard part is not the networking meeting. The hard part is the preparation before the meeting. That's the hard part. That's why you can only have 2, maybe 3 networking meetings a day. If you're going to prepare that way for a networking meeting and you know, send out your thank you notes and all that type of stuff. The hard part is not the meeting. The meeting is the easy part if you've properly prepared. The hard part is the preparation. It's getting emotionally up for that networking meeting, thinking maybe this guy has a opportunity for me, and we'll find out when there is a small chance that they will. But you need to approach that meeting as if they do. I mean, you know, think of the great, you know, baseball players, how often they hit home runs. It's, I don't know, 7-10% of the time. That's an incredibly low hit rate. Well, it's the same thing with networking. You're going to have a low hit rate on who has a bona fide opportunity, but you don't know who that one is. So you need to prepare for every meeting as if that is an interview, because it would be awful if they did have a position, but because you weren't prepared, they didn't, you know, play that card. When I met with, his name was Ed, when I met with Ed, he didn't say to me right away at the beginning of the meeting, oh, Jay, I'm so glad you're here. You're the perfect guy for this job. You know, let's talk about it and interview. That's not what happened. We had to meet. He wanted to see if I was technically competent, if I was prepared, if we had chemistry. Then he said he had the opportunity for me. So I just can't emphasize that enough. You know, the hard part's the preparation. You've got to prepare for a networking meeting as if it's an interview. And this is where I'm saying about you have to outwork the competition. I guarantee you your competition is not going to approach networking meetings with this level of effort. It's just too hard. But this is why, if you prepare this way, your job search will most likely be shorter than other people. So developing your playbook. A key component of your preparation is what I call a playbook. So I came up with a concept of a playbook when I was in transition because I was tired of constantly re-preparing for interviews. And I'm like, well, this is ridiculous. I said, why don't I just put everything that I'm going to say in an interview or a networking meeting in a Word document? So everything that you say, everything, tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work here? What do you know about the person? You copy your resume into your playbook. Every bullet point on your resume needs to have a short story. If you have summary of qualifications at the top, every bullet point needs to have a short story. When I say short story, I'm talking 20 seconds about why it's on your resume. Every bullet point on your resume needs to have a short story about why that bullet point is on your resume. And compensation, why you left every job on your resume, strengths, weaknesses, everything that you're going to say goes into your playbook. Speak your playbook into your iPhone memo and listen back to it constantly while you're doing chores around the house, you're in the car, you're walking the dog, whatever it is. So you don't have to think about how you're going to present yourself. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of what you say in a networking meeting or an interview should be scripted out and timed. Time your answers. No answer should be more than 40 seconds unless it's a highly technical answer. They really want to know, did you do what you say you did? Do you have an example? And can you articulate your background in a tight, concise way? Right? Can you be short, tight, and concise with your answers? So a playbook is really important. It's the foundation of how you're going to present yourself so you're not re-preparing all the time. The only thing that should change in your playbook is when you get new information in about maybe you didn't like how you said something, and when you're meeting with particular people and companies, that's what's going to change in your playbook. But basically, that playbook, once you get it done, it should only take you about 3 or 4 hours to completely flesh out that playbook with everything that you're going to say, exactly how you're going to say it. Speak it into your iPhone, listen to it back for how words sound and phrases, your diction, your pronunciation, certain phrases that you're using. For example, a phrase that I found I was using was I think. I think is a very weak phrase. I think may sound okay when you say it, but when you listen to it, it's a weak phrase. A better phrase is I believe. You much rather say to somebody, I believe this is the right approach than I think this is the right approach. So my point is, you're going to hear things that you're going to want to correct in the presentation of yourself and how you put together this playbook. So it's really the cornerstone of your preparation. Can you answer the big 3 questions in a networking meeting? As I said before, part of your job is to make it easy for somebody to help you. You know, or you should know, that you're going to get 3 questions on a networking meeting. Maybe not all 3, but most likely. They're going to ask you probably, tell me about yourself. You need to have a good, short, tight answer for tell me about yourself. 30, 45 seconds. I suggest a very simple, tell me about yourself. First paragraph, I grew up in, went to school at, moved to Dallas in if you're not in Dallas, not from Dallas. Second paragraph is, most recently I did this. Talk about what you most recently did. Third paragraph is, where I believe I can make a significant contribution to my next company or in the areas of. 45 seconds, real short. It's not your chance to crank open the fire hose and tell the other person how great you are. That's not what it is. Short, tight, concise, script it out, time it, know it cold. You're probably going to get asked, tell me about yourself. You're certainly going to get asked, what are you looking for? So what are you looking for? You need a tight, concise answer for what are you looking for. A great way to start what are you looking for, I believe, is where I believe I can make a significant contribution to my next company are in the areas of. Name 2 or 3 skills that you possess that you're looking to use in your next job. Get these from your prior job description, job descriptions from positions that you're looking for. You know, use that phraseology in the presentation of yourself. So what are you looking for? Where I believe I can make a significant contribution to my next company or in the areas of. That's how you're going to answer that question. How can I help you? You're going to get asked, how can I help you? The answer is not, do you know of any openings? Do you know of anyone that could use somebody with my skills? That is not the answer to how can I help you? The answer to how can I help you is, do you know of anyone on my target company list that would be good to meet with? That's the answer to how can I help you? And then you have a target company list. And I'm going to show you what I believe is the best tool for that target company list. But that's the answer to how can I help you? Do you know of anyone on my target company list or similar companies that would be good to work for? Or that would be good introductions? So those are the 3 big questions. Tell me about yourself. What are you looking for? How can I help you? Let's take a minute and just kind of cover the meeting flow of a networking meeting. 7 steps. First is you do your study and your preparation on the person and the company. That's the first thing that you do. Second, during the meeting, thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me. I really appreciate it at the beginning and at the end. Then you answer the 3 big questions that you're going to get asked. Tell me about yourself. How can I help you? What are you looking for? Be prepared with your answers for that. Do a time check. You asked for 20 minutes. Do a time check at the end of 20 minutes. Are we good on time? Do we need to wrap it up? Do you have a little bit more time? And they'll tell you, be respectful. Be respectful in your dress. Be respectful with their time. Summarize at the end of the meeting what they offered to do for you. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you introducing me to these 3 people. Send a thank you note to the person, again, with a summarization of what they asked to do, along with a copy and paste introduction that they can use on your behalf, and send a thank you note to the person that introduced you to that person. And then 7th is you ask at the end, in addition to in addition to thank you for taking the time to meet with me, is how can I help you? And I'll cover the example of that in a second. So that's the meeting flow, those 7 steps. So what's the best tool for networking and presenting your target company? So we're going to get out of this for a second, and I'm going to show what I believe is the best tool. Can you see that, Jeff?
Not yet. We just see the PowerPoint.
It says your screen's paused. Do you see a different document?
No, I do not.
Do you know how I would unpause a screen?
I am not sure. I've never heard that. I've never seen that comment on Zoom.
Okay.
Hey, Jay, this is Nikki Duncan. You might have, when you clicked share, you might have only shared your PowerPoint. So you may have to stop your share and reshare with the new document.
Excellent point. How about that?
There we go.
Very good. Thank you, Nikki. I didn't know that. Thank you.
problem.
So this is, you have, in my opinion, you have 2 tools that you can use when you're networking. A resume, or what I call a bio. So what is the difference, and why do I think this is a better tool? First of all, regardless of what tool you decide to use, always bring your resume with you during a networking meeting. Even if you use this bio, you always bring a resume. I liked, when I was networking, I put together this bio simply for two reasons. When I was networking, I did not like pushing my resume over to the other person. For some reason, I just felt like I was pushing my job search to that person. I know that may sound crazy. They know that you're looking for a job. I don't know. I just didn't like pushing my resume over to them. Secondly, invariably, it's human instinct. For some reason, people want to help. They would start like critiquing my resume. Oh, this is interesting, but have you considered moving this here or this there? That's not why we're meeting. We're not meeting for resume critique. We're meeting to network. I want your advice. I want your, introductions, that type of thing. So what I found worked better is a bio. So the competencies are simply on the left side, a lift and drop from your resume. That's all that is. In bullet point form, those are, competencies from your resume. The same with the center. The center is your professional achievement. Bullet points from your resume. The left could be, skills that you possess. And again, if you're struggling with how to flesh this out, look at job descriptions. Look at job descriptions for positions that you're qualified for, and grab, phrases and sentences from those job descriptions if they fit for the presentation of yourself. But for me, the key, and clearly it's not a resume because it has a picture, but the key to the bio, and I have this in a Word document. I can send it to Jeff and Nikki, and they can distribute it to the group if you want. Be sure you change the picture. That would probably be awkward if you use my picture on your bio. But the key to the target company, the key to the bio is the target company list, because that answers the question, how can I help you? This is a really good tool for the answer to how can I help you? How can I help you? Do you know anybody on my target company list that would be good for me to meet with, or similar companies? Doesn't need to be these companies. This is a mix of public and private companies, a mix of financial service companies. You're just giving them an idea of what companies you want introductions to. And they may say, I don't know somebody at Bank of America, but I know somebody at XYZ Bank, whatever, that's fine, right? It's a starting point of conversation, but it answers the question, how can I help you? Do you know anybody on my target company list that would be good to talk to? So I prefer the bio versus a resume in terms of what's the right, tool for the job. And it's a better conversation starter, and it's a good way to start the meeting, because clearly it's not a resume, right? Again, always bring your resume, because the person, is going to probably say, oh, this is really interesting. Some people just prefer a resume. They may say, can you send me a resume? Or, show me your resume. But I like the bio as the tool, and particularly because of the target company list. One note about the target company list, and ask me how I know this. Be sure that the person that you're meeting with, that their company is on your target company list. One time, I was meeting with someone and their company was not on my target company list. I forgot to put it on. And it was really embarrassing, because they said, oh, I see my company's not on your list. Do you not want to work here? Don't do that. So unless there's a really good reason that you wouldn't want to work in that company, it could be an industry that you're completely not interested in, whatever the case might be. Unless that's the case, always have the person that you're meeting with on your target company list. Don't make that mistake. So let's go back to the presentation. So that's bio versus resume. It's a personal choice, no right or wrong answer. I prefer the bio versus the resume. So let's go back to the presentation, if possible. Okay. So this will just, whoops. Hold on. Okay, having trouble just getting back to the PowerPoint. We'll give it another second and I'll just talk through it if it doesn't come up.
Isn't it just going back one slide? Because it said end of a presentation or end of a
Here we
slideshow.
go. Can you see that, Jeff?
Yes, I can. It's not full blown. It's the PowerPoint presentation itself.
Yeah, I don't, does it say always keep your eyes and ears open?
Yes.
Okay. So these will go quickly. Always keep your eyes and ears open during a networking meeting. What I mean by that is always listen for how people are presenting themselves. And if you really like or don't like the way somebody's presenting themselves, incorporate that in your own presentation. One example is when I was in networking meetings, I would hear finance people say the phrase, "my value proposition is." I think that's a terrible phrase for a finance person. Unless you're in M&A or in sales where you're, putting money on the bottom line, don't use hyperbole. So I never like the phrase, "Oh, my value proposition is this," if you're a finance person. So what I mean is always listen for how people are presenting themselves. Take the good, discard the bad, refine your own presentation of yourself. Networking is a two-way street. So what I mean by that is, this is where I'm talking about, how can I help you? Somebody said to me many years ago, say at the end of a networking meeting, "How can I help you?" And I thought, well, that's really awkward. The other person has a job, I don't. I always felt I was at a disadvantage because I was unemployed. They have the job. Why am I going to say, "How can I help you?" to somebody else? Well, here's why. How can I help you is a very powerful phrase. It's a powerful phrase in any situation. It's a really powerful phrase when you're the one in need of assistance. Saying, "How can I help you?" when you're the one who all throughout the meeting was asking for help means I'm not a taker. I have things to give. What do you have to give in job search? Think about, what do you have to give back? You have connections. That's what you have. You have connections for the other person. And like I said, it just shows that you're not always thinking of yourself. So the first time I used this phrase, "How can I help you?" I was meeting with a partner in a private equity firm. And I'm thinking, this is going to be really awkward. This guy's really successful. We had a really nice lunch. He offered to make introductions on my behalf. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to ask him, "How can I help him?" And he's going to say, "I'm good." So I said, "Peter, thank you very much for the introductions. I really appreciate it. How can I help you?" And he had a complete look of surprise on his face, because not many people, when they're in need of assistance, ask the other person, "How can I help you?" And he said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I see you work at Alliance Data. I have a client that would like to contact somebody there. Can you do that?" I did. They ended up doing business. But the important thing is that I asked him how I can help him, and you have contacts. You never know what somebody's going to say when you ask them, how can I help you? They may see where you went to school and maybe their son or daughter wants to go to school where you did and wants your advice on it. I mean, you have no idea. The point is that you ask. You asked when you were in need. Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me. I really appreciate it. How can I help you? It's a very level setting statement. It's a powerful statement. And I'm telling you, it will resonate with the other person that you think of other people while you're the one in need of assistance. That's networking as a two-way street. Job lead sharing. I strongly recommend job lead sharing if you don't do it. What I mean by that is, when I was in transition, I was friends with two other guys. I have a CPA, one had an MBA, one was a PhD. We were all going for financial planning positions, but we were all very different. So we decided to job lead share. So we were looking for the same positions, but because our backgrounds were so diverse, I mean, you're in competition, but you're not, because that company is looking for a very specific skill set. You either have that skill set or you don't, in your skills, your soft skills, and no sense hiding an opportunity. If you know about it, 1 or 2 million other people know about it. So it's not like you're hoarding a position, and you're going to cover more territory. If you're conducting a proper job search the way we've outlined this morning, it's very time consuming. And I felt opportunities were going past me. Well, if you have 3 people looking for the same opportunity, you're going to contact each other. Hey, did you hear about this job? Did you hear about this opportunity? Hey, I found this opportunity. Now you need to make sure everybody's pulling their own weight, or you vote them off the island type thing. But for the 3 of us, it worked really well. And we even helped each other. Myself and the gentleman that had the PhD, we're actually interviewing with the same company. And we're helping each other through the first round and through the second round of the interviews. We're helping each other advance within the same company. And I actually was interviewing with another company, took that job, and he ended up getting the job that we were competing for. But that's job lead sharing. So I strongly suggest that you do it. You're going to cover more ground. It's good camaraderie. And if everybody's pulling their own weight, it'll work out really well. How to make the most of a large networking group meeting. I'm not going to spend hardly any time on this because all of you do it. Jeff runs a really good meeting. Most people, and he's taught everybody about asking for introductions. A lot of networking meetings, people don't do this. And they walk out of the meeting unsatisfied because they stand up, they give their name, and they say the type of job they're looking for. Of course, it's not going to be of any help. You're doing the proper thing by saying, I would like an introduction to these 3 companies, or I'm interviewing with this company. Does anybody know anybody at this company? So everybody there is doing a great job at that point. So I'm confident that if you approach networking and your job search in general, by the way I've outlined here this morning, that you'll shorten your search. And I'll be glad to take any questions that you may have.
All right, any questions?
I have one question. At the beginning on your slide, it said EPS, but I don't know if that was defined.
I'm sorry, that's just that's the name of my company, Eureka Professional Services. I should have said.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Good morning, Jay. I didn't see what your last name was, and I was a little bit late to the presentation. What's your last name?
Yep, it's Fusaro, F like Frank, U, S like Sam, A-R-O, F-U-S-A-R-O.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question, anybody else? Yep, here we go.
Yeah, Tim Farrell, thank you for your great presentation, sir. Question about thank you notes. My thinking is you would never send a thank you note to a home address. You try to send it to a business address, but my experience is it's hard to find the correct address, that you have mail stations and so on. Is there a way to find the correct business address? And And then also, I guess one could ask, what is your business address during an interview? To me, that sort of breaks up the flow of the interview, and I've been shy about doing that. So I'm wondering, what should I do about thank you notes? Thank you for any information.
I would simply ask for a card, and I would bring a card. Again, that's a point of debate. Some people say you shouldn't have cards when you're in transition because that shows that you expect to be in transition a long time. I don't believe that. I think having a very simple business card with your name, phone number, email address, and the type of position that you're looking for. It doesn't need to be fancy. And then simply ask the other person for their card. That's what I would do. And in terms of a generic business address, if you've been to the address, you should know the general business address. So if you put, Comerica Bank, 1600 Pacific Avenue, Dallas, Texas, attention J. Fusaro, chances are it's going to get there.
When you, when you say, talk about thank you notes, how does email follow-ups go? Is it sort of the same thing, or what do you suggest?
Yeah, I'm fine with email. I think email's perfectly fine. If you want to give a special touch, if they were particularly helpful to you, or you felt that you had a really good relationship with that person, sure, a personal business note is thank you note is always nice. I have awful handwriting, so I always preferred email.
Hi, Jay. My name is David Glasscock. When I heard networking, I immediately went to the thought of, oh, a networking happy hour or some kind of luncheon or something like that. I wasn't thinking a specific networking introductory meeting that's more formal. So that being said, how much of this, I don't know how much of it could actually carry over to some type of networking happy hour or luncheon or something like that that's a little less formal, but you still have the opportunity to get in front of a good number of people. Is there a specific strategy for that, or how much of this, like I said, is carryover? Is it a completely different set of skills, or what? Thanks.
You're welcome. I think it's very similar skills. Don't drink alcohol, don't eat food, and be really short, tight, and concise with your answers. That in that type of group environment, you're going to get asked for sure, what are you looking for? And that's where you need a 20-second answer where I believe I can make a significant contribution to my next company or in the areas of, and give 2 or 3 skills that you're really good at, that you possess, that you're looking to use in your next company, and then have in your head a short list of companies that you want introductions to. You can say that the companies that I'm targeting are these 3 or 4 companies. Don't give 7 or 8. These 3 or 4 companies or similar companies. Would you happen to know anyone at these companies?
Okay. Anybody else here in the room? Anybody online have a question?
Hey, thanks, Jay, for the presentation. Very, very good one. The bio, I like that. I have a very similar one. I'm also in finance. I'm like your friend. I have an MBA, not a CPA. In mine, many times they have told me that maybe having rather than, besides just having the companies have like industries that you would be interested. What do you think about that?
I would go with both. I would not take off the target companies, and here's why. Somebody was networking with me, and they mentioned an industry, and I was like, I don't know anybody in that industry. But when they mentioned a company, I thought of 2 people. So for some reason in our heads, I believe it's more specific, and people associate their contacts with companies versus industry. If somebody says to me, do you know somebody in financial services? It's like, that's really broad for me. But if they say, do you know anybody in PE firms? That's much more specific, and I immediately think of 2 different people. So if you want to have target companies, and below that, you can have target industries. So that's what I would do, but I'm biased towards leaving the target companies on there.
Okay. Your book is, I'm assuming at Amazon is where you can get it. And the last thing, you were talking about cold calling. And so any like brief comments on how you go about doing that? You have also a script and you're trying to get phone numbers, or how do you do that?
Yeah. So I would use LinkedIn. Often if you Google somebody, if you find them on LinkedIn, so you're going to cold call people that would be your boss. So, for me, if I was going for a financial planning position, I would be cold calling CFOs. And often that, you might get a secretary, and they're going to say what this is in reference to. I would just say, I would really appreciate, Mr. Smith's advice and feedback. You don't have to say regarding my search. You say Mr. Smith's advice and feedback. Or if you call after hours, you may go directly to their voicemail. And that's where you can leave a message that says, Mr. Smith, this is Jay Fusaro. I would really appreciate 20 minutes of your time regarding advice and feedback regarding my search. Could you please give me a call back? Now, if you cold call somebody and they agree to meet with you, why did they agree to meet with you when you cold call somebody? Think about it for a minute. It's either they're just being a really good person and they want to give back, okay, or they just might have a position available, possibly. Like, why else would that person agree to meet with you if you cold call them? It's either they're a really good person, which is always a possibility, or they may have a position available. And if you say, Mr. Mims, my name is Jay Fusaro. I'd really appreciate your advice and feedback regarding my search for an FP&A position. I would really appreciate 20 minutes of your time. And if somebody just resigned, or if he's going to fire somebody, or if somebody's transferring out in that position and they agree to meet with you, that's why they're going to call you back. So yes, you got to be prepared for a low hit rate, but that's okay. It's not about, the hit rate. It's about getting that meeting and then making the most of that meeting, particularly from a cold call.
Phone numbers you get from LinkedIn or
Yeah,
maybe
LinkedIn,
like
or sometimes if you Google the person, you're going to get their work number, or you can just call the main company switchboard, whatever, the main company number.
Yeah, because what I've done is mail or FedEx, kind of a cover letter and a resume or bio, but not what you suggest, and it's an interesting approach. Thank you.
I would cold call. It's more gutsy.
Well,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, hey, thank you, Jeff. Hi, Jay. Great presentation. Just my name is Nikki Wilson. Wanted to say thank you for all of this great information. I received your book the first time I was in search back in 20 and picked it back up and recently read the entire cover to cover, and it was great. So thank you. I've started my playbook. Lots of great advice. The question I have is around titles for the one pager. So my previous role, I was a chief people officer. And I don't know that I'm really targeting the number one spot going forward, more of a HR director, senior director. So do you advise for the one pager, or even in those conversations or communications, that I more so say HR leader, global talent leader, or something that doesn't box me into someone saying, oh, okay, she's looking for the top spot?
So thank you for your kind words and for reading the book, and I'm glad it's helped. That's my pleasure. Those are all good ideas, what you just said. That's what I would do. I would leave the title broad. And so when they say, what are you looking for? the reason I say the same phrases over, and what I mean by that is when they say, what are you looking for? Where I believe I can make a significant contribution to my next company or in the areas in, is because you need to have a foundation of what you're going to say. And once you get that foundation established, that's where you go for your answers. So they may ask the same question 6 different ways, but it all comes back to, you know, 1 or 2 or, you know, 6 basic questions. So yes, I would use a broad title if you're not looking for the top spot. And when they say, so what type of position are you looking for? They may have in their head, I want her to say a title. But when you say, where I believe I can make a significant contribution to my next company or in the areas of, that's going to be better for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, anybody else online have a question? It's all quiet. Well, Jay, thank you very, very much for your time. Like I said, I've got a copy of my book here, and as I was opening it up, I found my old meeting notes from April 20th, 1918 or 2018, when you spoke to us last time. So, yeah, I so saving on my notes. So thank you very much. Great presentation. And I encourage everybody, if you know somebody who's networking, which should be everybody who's employed, let them know about this video, because I mean, it's a lot of great information. So Jay, thank you very much for your time.
You bet, Jeff. My pleasure. And thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank all of you for participating. I appreciate your time. I know it's a sacrifice, and I hope it helps.
Yes, thank you very, very much. All right. Next Friday, Ashley Thomas will be with us. She's going to be talking or looking at resumes. Nikki, do you want to talk about what she's going to be looking for?
Yes, I can do that. Ashley does, and she's done it a few times on LinkedIn, which is how I found her, but she'll do a live critique of resumes. So anybody who wants to know how their resume is landing or hitting when recruiters see it, if you will email me your resume, then I will put it in a presentation and Ashley will look at it. I'll take out personal information. Ashley will look at it and tell you how that hits from the view of a recruiter who's looking at hundreds of resumes a day. And then she'll give practical tips on how to fix resumes. I think her stuff's super great. I think you guys will really like it. My email is NicoleDuncanPMP@gmail.com. If you will email me your resumes, she can do up to 20 within her time frame we've given her. And right now I don't have any, so send me some resumes.
Okay, so I'll send that, I'll put that out in the note coming out to everybody tomorrow with the notes from today's follow-up. So it should be an interesting presentation. All right, this presentation will be on the Career USA YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, every video that I post goes into one of 7 different playlists. So click on playlist, and then if you go down to in the lower left, you'll see view full playlist from the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group speakers. You'll see a list of all the speakers we've had over the years, over the last 4 or 5 years. I go back and see when I started doing this, I forget. But all those speakers are there that you can go back and watch at your convenience. Just remember that the speakers start about 30 minutes into the presentation. Next week, Ruth Lipsky will be with us to talk about LinkedIn tools for job search or for job seekers for LinkedIn Tuesday at 1 o'clock. That'll be online. Wednesday, the practice interview team is meeting online only. So it is the 4th Wednesday of the month. So they will be online only. And next Friday, already talked about Ashley Thomas will be with us to talk about resumes. Upcoming here next week, resume writing tips. In 2 weeks, Lee Robinson will be back with us to talk about negotiating the offer. And then the first week in November, we'll be doing open forum as we do the first Friday of every month. Today, we're going to go to Country Burger for lunch. Come join us. How many people think they're going to go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, whoever gets there first, get a table for at least 8 people. Anybody online, if you think you're going to join us, let me know and we'll get you added too. So for everybody else, thank you very much for joining us today. Have a great Friday and have a good weekend, and we'll see you all next week.